everyone, welcome back to JP's Budget Collecting and another Monday, whatever report. So second week in a row we're on Monday. Obviously not our normal night. Normally we're on Saturday, which is actually not our normal night. We're supposed to be on Sundays, but we're doing D&D on Sunday, so it went to Saturday. And now because of life, it's been on Monday 2 weeks in a row. But hey, so we do it whenever. It's a whatever report. It's whatever. I got a guest with me tonight. I got my man Dame Ayers, who I spent most of Friday and Saturday hanging out with at Planet Con. I almost said C2E2 because Andy was talking about C2E2.
Not only is it the whatever report, it's the whenever and whoever.
Yeah, now it's the whatever, whenever, whoever report. We're just going to make it, whenever I feel like it, I'm going to do it. Okay? My show.
You're not my supervisor.
That's right. You're not my supervisor. Oh, we got Unruly was hanging out early, and he's already back with a whenever. We got GT Key. John was tailgating early. We'll see if he comes back to mock me a little bit. We got Dre. What is going on? So yeah, John pops in. I got a snide comment for him that I want to. So anyway, so I got a fun comment with him. So we'll get to maybe some of my usual stuff that I talk about on this, but let's talk about PlanetCon, my friend. Did you have a good time?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't buy I didn't actually buy myself any comic books while I was there.
I did not either.
I got home.
I didn't buy a single comic book while I was there.
Well, I might have bought, two, but they weren't for me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you didn't, but but were those the only two you bought? Was that one purchase?
Yeah.
So yeah, we didn't buy crap. Why? Hey, J Hood, what is going on? Kachung is in the house. Hello, Kachung. I assume Delphia is not too far away. Hello, Delphia. And yeah, so we didn't buy any books. I still blew my budget, which you guys will see here in a minute. But I thought it was the worst just number of vendors since I've been going in the last 5 years that I've been going to PlanetCon. Thought it was the fewest vendors. Do you agree with that?
From the past 2 years I've went, and from my experience in general, that seems to be a trend at any con I've been to.
Yeah.
Is there tends to be a lot less comics, or at least straight comic. There'll be some of them like we saw that had 2 or 3 long boxes and 6 shelf books and then a bunch of toys and that type of stuff.
We'll wait back to Delphia. Yeah, it was a lot of just
anime.
I put in this stuff. I mean, there was
more anime stuff than there was comics.
Yeah.
But then there was a lot more just stuff than there was anything else.
Yeah, I mean, there were some T-shirts and there were plushies and there were masks and there were
5 booths that had Lego minifigs.
Yeah, like a few Lego minifig booths and Funkos and a few other just random toy booths and a couple booths. I just was like, I don't even know what the purpose of this booth is. They just had like a random mixed bag of stuff, and it was just, hey Sam, what is going on? So from that standpoint, it was a little disappointing, just because, and I thought in general terms, like, it was con prices, but I thought even for con prices, things were kind of high. I feel like they thought it was spring of 21 instead of spring of 22 based on the pricing of the comics. And everything was selling. No, I still had a good time. Like, it was fun. We wandered around. We spent some time in Artist Alley, although I didn't get a single signature either. Like,
I didn't either, and I even took some books.
Yeah.
And I sort of pushed it off on Friday, and then Saturday, I pushed it off, and then I was going to go get them on Sunday, and then
what happened?
I had too much fun Saturday night. I did not feel like going back on Sunday.
Yeah. Yes, you hooked up with some of the other members of the community, several of which I missed, which I feel bad about because I was doing the commute thing.
I spent more on alcohol Saturday night than I did on comic books.
Well, that's that's saying something. Yes, he has, that's absolutely the truth. But I looked at a few books, and there were a few things that maybe could have made some deals on, but I ended up going some other directions. But yeah, I don't know. I still had a good time. It was a little disappointing in terms of like maybe because we were just hanging out and not really. We were like, "What do you want to do? Let's wander over here." It was just kind of had a good time. There was lots of cool cosplay. There was just we I hung out with Burke for a little bit on Friday. Him and Panda and I'm blanking now. I'm so bad with names. Nick's. So
I met Nick's Saturday night.
Yeah. And CT for bar prices. Yeah. So I did the commute back and forth, so I didn't get to do the evening thing. So I missed out on several of the folks that I didn't meet because my phone was doing it was at a con. I couldn't get messages through. It was atrocious. He sent me a message like we'd actually found each other, and then the message popped up like 40 minutes later. It's like, oh geez. So, but I did get a few things. Do you have anything? Do you have anything to show off really, other than what goes with the last thing I'm going to show off?
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember I picked up a bunch of stuff from what is his name that worked on Batman?
Oh yeah. Was it Todd Aaron
Smith?
Todd Aaron Smith. Yeah.
Todd Aaron Smith.
Yeah, that's right.
So I picked up some of his stuff. Oh, that glitters. Okay, there we go.
Whoop, hang on. There we go. Yeah.
One of them.
He is still super cheap, and I didn't pick up anything from him this time because I blew my budget elsewhere. But
$40 a piece.
Yeah, those are just so good, so crazy. Go through those one more time. Leave them up for a second here, because I was like messing with trying to get you like to the big screen there. So that Wonder Woman, just
a little bit. Yeah,
Lasso is gonna be super jealous.
I like the Wonder Woman and this one too.
Yeah, I just like those two because they were a little different style.
Yeah, his stuff is normally like this,
and
I understand because that's what he did on the show.
Yeah, that's what most people want. But yeah, I like the ones where it's a little different style. I love the two of them together.
Yeah, and at $40 a pop, I was like, I'll take a few.
Yeah. If I hadn't spent my money elsewhere, I probably would have gotten a few more of those. I got a couple of those last year,
and then this was my most expensive piece that I got. I don't know if he was there whenever I got it.
Oh no, I don't know.
It's from Freddie Williams.
Oh yeah. I was standing there. That's right. I remember this now.
That's it is He-Man and Thundercats. But it's kind of hard to pick out. But there's a bunch of people from both there. That's a better panel where you can see Man at Arms.
Yeah, that's sweet.
So,
very cool.
It wasn't expensive for his work, but it was the most expensive piece I bought.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll save the other one until we get to the end of mine.
That's what
everybody's going good stuff. So I ended up doing. Let me swap us. So I didn't buy any books, but you did buy a couple of books. So I had looked at a book. I walked away, and then I came back before you were ready.
I thought you were going to be gone longer.
I come back, and he's making a purchase, and a book that is on my list was so ASM 43, not a super high grade copy, but a nice little placeholder, and it wasn't.
And that's what I meant for it to be.
Yeah, so those
it's sort of like the what if Thor behind you that I gave you. They're both low grade that I just sort of like. The Thor I ended up with for really cheap. So It's like, here's you a placeholder until you buy a better one.
There you go. And I ain't buying a better one of those until the movie is way gone.
Oh, I wouldn't either. No, I mean, I think I paid $20 for it.
Yeah. So, so that was an awesome AOK that I sort of ruined by walking back when I did. But much appreciated. So that's a book. I mean, that's what CGC says is her first appearance, which is just dumb because she speaks and is named and seen in the previous book. But whatever. My rules on what a first appearance would be are clearly not followed because 181 is considered the first appearance of Wolverine. So, but anyway, to me, this is the second MJ, or second full MJ, because she cameos like 9 times before you actually see her face. But so very cool. Yes, Kachuk, very, very cool. But so I spent all my money on commissions, and basically for the most part, and my original plan was I only had one artist that I was planning to I want to try to get on the commission list, and that was Sabine Rich. But we went to lunch beforehand, so we didn't go in right. I was like, I'm not waiting in line to go in when the doors open. Blah blah blah. There's Nick.
Hey Nick,
what is up?
See, I made it home okay.
He made it, Nick. He made it. So I was gonna try to get on her list. But we didn't get there right when the doors opened. We got there about I got there not quite an hour after they actually opened because it started at 1. I got there about 1:40 or something. And I went straight to her table, and there was a guy in front of me, and he was trying to get on her commission list. And she basically told him the story about, well, I've probably already taken too many, so I'm not going to take your money. I'll try to get you to by Sunday. And so I asked, and she's like, I'm not going to take any more. I'm out of practice. I don't think I can get through all of these, which was no big deal. But I will say, her prices were pretty damn affordable, which is part of the reason they probably disappeared like crazy. But I was not too upset until I walked right by and she was doing a Batgirl later, and I was like, for somebody. Hey man, what is going on?
Hey man.
So after that, I walked down the thing and I went back by Ryan Kincaid, who did the Ahsoka for me last August, and I ended up getting another piece from him, or I had him do another sketch cover for me. So with the trailer and everything last week, I had to have him do a little Jane Foster Thor sketch cover for me. So it turned out fantastic.
Yeah,
I love Ryan Kincaid's work, and he's just a super nice guy. Just easy to work with, talk to. He'd actually cut me a rate on that Ahsoka thing, which was cheaper than his normal commission rate. And so I felt, so I went on and did the full thing this time. And yeah, super happy with that, to add a little Jane Foster Thor sketch cover for Mr. Kincaid. He has always been awesome to work with. He's the one that told me, and I didn't do it, but he was trying to encourage me to come back and bring the Ahsoka back and have Ashley sign it and get it slabbed. He's like, trust me, it'll be worth it. It's like the last one he'd done that somebody got signed, they then sold for $1,000. And I was like, oh. But I'm like, I'm not going to sell it. I didn't do it. So it's like, I'll tell him I did it this weekend. No big deal. But yeah, so who is that, Nick? Whose line are you talking about? Sabine?
Sabine, yeah.
Yeah, she didn't really have very many people there, but they'd already scooped up all her commission slots. So Matt enjoying that. So then I just kind of wandered around, and there's an artist there that I guess he's been around for a long time. I've never really heard of him. He goes by Breed. His actual name's Bobby Breed, but Art of Breed if you look him up online. And he did a Wonder Woman sketch for me, which just, badass sword. He's badass Wonder Woman sword, shield, debris. And so, yeah, which turned out really nice. I was really happy with this one too. Just a sweet sketch. And yeah, just super cool. So was happy with that as well. So I got 2 sketch covers. Unless they're gonna be burgling the house. Yeah. Thank you, Dre, on Foster. Yeah. So was super happy. Those were the 2 sketch covers I did. And then I ended up getting another commission piece, which I could have had this as a sketch cover, but I ended up just getting him to do it on a 9x12. And this was Jason Metcalf. And I had him do a Catwoman for me. And so this is the Catwoman piece that he did for me, which is just
fantastic,
gorgeous. Just, I mean, yeah.
I don't know how many times I looked at his Valiant covers.
Oh my gosh. And he had, yeah.
And I came so close to pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
Multiple
they were actually, for covers, they were affordable.
Yes.
Like very affordable for cover.
They were under $1,000.
Like more than my budget, but for a cover, yeah. So yeah, I had to do. He asked me which version, and I was like the modern with the goggles. I love like as much as I have nostalgia for like the purple. I love the modern suit with the goggles. I just like it's just my favorite. So yeah, so I was super happy with this. But yeah, he had like. And then I love that he also had a bunch of these like 11x17s that were just like starter sketches that like you could pay him to finish. Like he'd finish as far as you wanted him to do. And those were cool too. I just thought it was a fun idea that he had.
What was cool I thought about that was, he had a price list there. You know, like this rough sketch was, pretty cheap, or he could, it was like 5 different steps of finishment that he could do. Yeah. And each one just, went up in cost. And
and a lot of them were like the figure, but like it was rough enough that like it could be multiple characters. Like it could still be like Spidey or Venom, or like you could take it a couple different ways, and like depending on how you wanted to finish it. So it was like finish the pencils, ink it, color it. Like he would do, it was a kind of a cool setup. But yeah, I thought his rates on his pages and stuff were solid. I just didn't pull the trigger on any of those. But yeah, but I was super happy with how this turned out. Just freaking stunning. So I was pretty happy. Those were my 3 commission pieces that I got at PlanetCon. So the last thing, I did a little teaser on this, is the last thing I purchased had to do with an AOK sort of that I got from Kachung and Delphia. They sent me a couple of Nightwing books to help fill in my run a while ago, and that I was looking for, like, because I'd finished out 2/100, and I now need 100 through 152 or whatever it is. Ooh, I am completely out of focus now, and still out of focus. I'll fix it here in a second. But so they sent me a bunch of issues. Included in those were 111 and there we go, and 115. So I hadn't really planned on buying anything else, and then you flagged me down. And do you want to show what you flagged me down with?
Well, yeah. Oops. It's just a second. I got the fan on. There we go.
Oh, okay.
It was blowing it around. Hester and Parks.
Yeah, Phil Hester are ink or lines, and Andy Parks inks. And you got this from Andy. He was there, and yeah, like I come walking back up to meet up with him. He's like, "Look what I got! Nightwing and Deathstroke from." I was like, "Where did you see that?" And so he sent me over there.
And I also got this too.
Yeah. You got the Storm.
Yeah, the Storm. It was, I think the Storm was 40 or 60, one of the two. So it was a pretty good deal.
Pretty affordable. And so then I had to go over there and look through the book. So he had page 21 from issue 115. So I had to get page 20, which was there. It also had Deathstroke on it, as well as, now if you don't know, Nightwing was like basically undercover and in a slightly different suit for this, is why he looks a little different. But that's Nightwing, with Deathstroke and Rose there in the corner. And so so I had to grab that, and so that's my first ever page, I guess. But then Nightwing wasn't really in his costume, and then so this was another Hester and Parks page, but he also had a page or pages from issue 111, which is Cliff Chang art or lines and Andy Parks sketches, where he was in the classic costume, and it was super cheap. So so I pulled the trigger on 2 pages. So I spent the budget without buying any comics. Just on art.
His pages were super reasonable.
Oh my gosh, his pages were crazy reasonable. Like, hey, who dat? What is going on? So there's Tacoma in the house. What is happening? Damers, he did kind of cite me on that page with the Nightwing and Deathstroke, but he sent me in the direction, and I'm pretty happy with this single panel of him standing there, even if it's sort of the wrong costume. But like that half page splash of just him standing there is pretty freaking cool. I had to get the for sure. Thank you, Jay Hood, Art Mogul. Yeah, I wish. So I didn't even have to go look for the issues because thanks to Kachung and Delphia, I already had the issues. So I have the issues with these pages in them. And if you guys want to see the full color, I should have grabbed your page too, and I didn't think about it. But the full color here, let me go back to that's not open. So this is the full color of the page from 120 or from 115. And then that's the final from the issue 111. So super happy to have those pages. That was one of my big goals for this year. Let's go back to this. Was to get a page finally, because I've been thinking about it. So Philip, to check off 2 to get 2 pages was pretty big for me. And I've been kind of holding. One of the reasons I hadn't probably pulled the trigger on a page is because I was waiting for a Nightwing page, and like to get an actual page with him like that prominent for that cheap was pretty amazing. But then I also was able to get him in the classic costume from that original run. Not a Scott McDaniel page, but that's okay. I'll have to get one of those later. But glad to just kind of get it started with the pages. So. So that's where all my money went. Was the art. So I didn't buy a single comic book at the con, but we got several pieces of art.
I had more comics come in the mail while I was there than I bought.
Yeah. So what'd you have come? You want to show?
Secret Weapons. It's a Valiant book. Number 22, which they actually never made.
Yeah, that's the one you were telling me about. That's awesome.
Yeah. They some collectors afterwards got the unfinished pages and actually got them inked and everything by the inker that was going to do it whenever it was published. And they published, I don't know how many copies, but I know the guy who donated all the pages, so
yeah.
I'll talk to him and find out. And then this came.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
No, wait, which one is that?
16.
That's 16. Okay, I couldn't remember
the first cameo.
Yeah, that's the cameo. Okay. Hey, poor Mike, what's going on? We'll do a recap in a minute. We just finished our PlanetCon hauls and we're showing some other stuff, but we'll do a recap here in a minute.
Already had 17. I have at CGC right now, and I think it'll be in the mid 9s. And then I've got a 9.4 of 18.
Yeah, nice.
So that gets me all 3 over.
Yeah. So, only thing I had come in the mail was my usual Midtown haul. My every 2 week Midtown haul is the only thing I've had come this week, which is pretty small again. I should go back to like this. what did we got? Which 4, 5, 6, 7 books for 2 weeks from Midtown, which is not bad. So I've read all but one of them, which the only one I did not read yet already was that I pre-ordered Gwynverse, the first couple issues, and the issue 1 was so bad, I don't know that I'll read this one. I'll be honest. It was so bad. I just thought it was just terrible. Which I've liked it, enjoyed a lot of the Gwen Stacy stuff, Spider-Gwen stuff, but that was bad. For some reason, I continue to torture myself with Batman, Catwoman, but we're so close to the end. It's still confusing as all freaking. Yeah, it's just so damn confusing. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how he's going to wrap it up in one issue. Like, what the heck is going on? Darth Vader continues to be stellar. I've really enjoyed this Darth Vader run. This hot Darth Vader run has been great. Lots of Catwoman this week in my thing. A little Frisian love. You can kind of see but you can see the undergarments better on the actual cover. But even that she had to darken it because they decided it was too sexy or whatever. But because she's posted the original on her Instagram or whatever. But this has continued to be fun. I've enjoyed Catwoman even with the I continue to enjoy it. It's not just a cover buy for me. A story I do absolutely love. I'm so ridiculous how much I love this story and how much fun this is, but it continues to just be so much fun. Like, I am clearly not the target audience, but apparently I am because I just enjoy the hell out of this. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's goofy. It's fun. I love the 3 characters. Yeah, Batgirls continues to just be stellar for me. It's one of my favorite. I look forward to reading it so much. Apparently, I'm like a 12 to 16-year-old girl, which I feel like is the target audience. But, I mean, I know that that's what it is, but it just makes me smile when I read it. It just is so much fun. Of course, I'm reading Nightwing. It continues to be so good. I love that the last couple issues have focused on him and Wally and their friendship. And yeah, this is just really good. Embrace my inner schoolgirl, no shame. Yeah, so for sure. And then I showed a Cliff Chang page earlier, and yeah, so Cliff Chang's Catwoman Lonely City has been absolutely fantastic. I can't wait for the final issue. It's been so good too. So for the most part, I was very happy with my reads this week. There was nothing in there that was like, but so yeah. Poor Mike laughing at me. No, I get it. Hey, I know what my weaknesses are. So I do. Otherwise, I don't necessarily. Oh, I didn't bring it up. It's downstairs. The other thing that did come back this week was, for those that have been paying attention, is my NYX that was all like smudged up. The inner liner was all smudged up. My 9.8 NYX that I sent back for mechanical error. That got there the first week of April. April 5th, they opened the box. Came back Thursday. I think it was a Thursday.
I think so.
Yeah, it was
talking about it on Friday. It was either it came back before you left on Friday.
So yeah, I'm becoming an OG fan. OG is a fun character. Yeah, so it's fixed. It looks great. It's actually downstairs in the safe, which is where I store like my valuable books. It's actually my most valuable book with what it's worth at a 9.8. Yeah. So I already put it downstairs when I was going to be gone a bunch this weekend. And I forgot to bring it back up to show it. So I'll show that another time. But yeah, it'll be shown off here soon. But yeah, it's nice and crystal clear. Looks good. So that made me super happy. So that was the other thing. So I was glad they fixed it. I didn't have to pay anything. They paid for shipping both ways, and they got it fixed. And so, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know that I have anything else. Anything else going on with you, man?
No.
No. No big purchases or anything on the
way.
Well,
Saturday morning was record store day.
And
that's
right, you were telling me.
Yeah, I spent more on records than I did on art almost.
Yeah. So you got them with you, or are they upstairs? Or
they're actually here, but
yeah, let's see what you got.
I got a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Some of them was from that shop. There's Foo Fighters single.
Yeah. Nice.
And then Cypress Hill.
The Foo Fighters, that was like small. Okay, yeah, because it was a single. Okay, I was like, that's small. Yeah.
And then Everlast.
Nice.
And then this wasn't record store day, but I got it from there, Paul's Boutique from why am I drawing a blank on them? Good grief. Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
This one wasn't the record store version, but the new Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah. Later, Matt.
Alice in Chains, record store day.
Very cool.
This one wasn't a record store day, but I bought it there. Radiohead. Same with this one. Nirvana.
You got a bunch. That's way more than you told me about. You just told me about the record store day stuff.
Other Nirvana.
Yeah, you definitely spent more on records.
Foo Fighters.
Very cool.
And that's it from the store.
Nice. Yeah, so I think I don't know if we need to go too much longer. This is always just however long we feel like talking.
I'm glad I was on here to make it shorter.
Yeah. I don't ramble as much. Well, we got to do a recap yet, so we got to do a recap. But I don't know. Have you been watching? Have you caught up on Moon Knight? Have you watched?
I think so.
You watched episode 4?
I'm pretty sure.
The Tomb.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, you've seen episode 4. So let's talk. We'll do a little Moon Knight for anybody that's before we do the recap here. We'll get to the. I don't usually really talk spoilers. It's more of just my opinion of episode 4. I'm curious what somebody else thought of episode 4. If they were like, what? As somebody who doesn't know Moon Knight, and I come to find out, I guess this is a thing that has happened before. Like Lemire, I think, in his run, like what happens kind of at the end. What did you think when the twist at the end? What did you think when we?
I'm trying to think of what it was.
So they go down into the tomb, and then he confronts Harrow, and then he shows up in a completely different place after he gets. I'm trying not to give full spoilers here. Did you watch episode 4? Because I feel like maybe you didn't.
I know I did, but I am drawing a blank.
So, well, I feel like I'm like spoiling it for you. I don't necessarily want to do that.
No, I know I watched it.
Tacoma saying the twist saved a horrible episode. I don't know that it was horrible. It was definitely a very different tone than the show had been to that point. It was a little more. It was definitely more serious, and
oh yeah. Okay, the sarcophagus. Yeah,
the sarcophagus, and and then
and then okay, yep.
The part in the catacombs bad on purpose. I don't know about that, but like it was definitely a little bit of a completely different tone than the show had been. Like in the catacombs, I didn't think it was terrible. I thought, I was curious to see where they were going with it. Then when I got spoilers up. Like when they shot him, and then like he falls, and then he wakes up, and I was like, "What the frick is happening?"
I was thinking he was in like some version of heaven or something at first.
Well, that's what I wondered, and then it felt very cliche, like the Mummy. I could get that. There was no Moon Knight at all. No, there was not, because Khonshu is trapped at the moment, so he can't actually transform at the moment. So that was interesting. It did feel a little cliche. Like, I'm not sure what purpose the zombie guardians in the tomb served. Like, and I get, if that's your complaint, I get that, because I was like, what is the purpose of these things? Like, being down there, like, because it really didn't stop them. It was just kind of a weird, let's have a creep out kind of thing. That I would agree with that being kind of bad. Because this felt unnecessary. But like the actual tomb thing, I was fine with it. They went down there, but yeah, the mummy got back the VHS tape. Yeah. Yeah, the clicking zombie was weird. I would definitely agree with that. I had bad throwbacks to, but when he wakes up in the hospital, like I had bad throwbacks to like the Buffy episode from years and years ago. If people don't remember, where she like gets poisoned and she's like waking up in a mental institute, and that it was all like it's trying to convince her that it was all like, she goes catatonic and she wakes up in a mental institute, and that it's all been like a dream. Like the whole thing has just been in her head the whole time, that she's not a vampire slayer, that none of it's ever happened. And like, and then they resolve it at the end, and she like wakes up and it's like, but which is actually real? And I hated that because it was just so annoying. It's like, commit to what it is. It was just and I got a little bit of this from that episode of like, why is he in? And I guess I felt better about it when I heard Lemire had done something similar, but like it did feel really, the whole thing just felt odd. I was like, oh, I lost Daymare. I think he froze and I lost him. So, well, and it didn't even feel like it was that hard, that far. Why hadn't Harrow's people already got there? Like that was, yeah, though I would agree. The setup, the more I think about it, the setup was not great, like in the tomb part. Like that whole thing was a little underwhelming. Well, unnecessary is fine. It just is, I don't mind unnecessary if it's entertaining, but someone hates Moon Knight. Who hates Moon Knight? I don't know. I've never read Moon. I had no feelings about Moon Knight before the show because I had no background. Very much like the beginning of Lemire's run. Yeah, so I read somewhere where they were talking about that, like it was pulling from Lemire's run. Overall, I enjoyed it. It was just, I'm enjoying the show as a whole. I'm curious to see where they go. I did think episode 4 was the worst episode probably so far. And it was just, yeah, it was the most consistent. And I'm not sure where they're going with this whole hospital thing. Maybe they can, like, if they make it work, yeah, but I'm a little curious about whether or not they can actually make that work the way they're trying to. Oh, he ate it. That's why he left. It could be. So, all right. Well, those were my general thoughts. I didn't have any like deep thoughts on it. It's just, I was just curious where people were at. So we're gonna take that off. And I'm gonna do, for those that came in late, if they're still here, I'll do a real quick recap of my haul. Daymare's is gone, but he did get me a low grade but copy of ASM 43. So I had looked at it, I put it back, I was like, yeah, I'll think about it or whatever, and I walked away. And then he tried to stealth buy it as an A-OK while I was away, but I walked back up just to see what he was doing. I came back just to see what was like completing the transaction. So but yeah, so ASM 43, one of the books I've been looking for, the second Mary Jane, in my opinion, second full Mary Jane. But so that was checked on my list. That's basically the only comic I came home with. I didn't buy any comics at the con. I did get some commissions done. Yeah. Clearly, he's got to be the person that was in the other sarcophagus that was rattling and they didn't open. Because he opened the one that Steven was in, but they didn't open the other one. That's clearly got to be Jake. Who I didn't even know there was a third personality until somebody was talking about the show. Yeah. Oops, internet died. Well, if you come back, I'm doing a recap. If you don't, it's okay. my original plan for Planet, for those that were here earlier, was to get a Sabine Rich commission. I just missed out on getting on her list. So instead, I went and got Ryan Kincaid. He did me a Jane Foster Thor, which was really good. I'm really happy with that. So love that cover, and it was very timely, of course, or love that sketch, and it was very timely. Another artist named Breed. I think his name's Brandon Breed, I believe, but like he goes by Breed and Art of Breed. If you like look him up, did a Wonder Woman sketch for me. So just completely like badass Wonder Woman, sword and shield, rubble, like, so sweet sketch cover of that. I then had an artist named Jason Metcalf. He does a lot of Xenoscope and that kind of stuff, covers and art for those kind of books, but did a Catwoman non-sketch cover. He just did a 9x12 piece for me, pencil and ink, that is just stunning. I mean, that is just absolutely stunning drawing of Selena. Gives me a little like Jim Lee vibes, maybe. Just absolutely stunning. The face and just freaking gorgeous. Selena piece that I'm super happy with. And then my big purchase, as I talked about earlier, that I didn't have to go track down the books for because Kachung and Delphi had already sent me issues 111 and 115. Daymares came up with his page that he picked up from Andy Parks. So I ended up having to go back and look. And I picked up two Nightwing pages. Issue 115, page 20, this Nightwing, and that is, of course, Deathstroke, and that's Rose in the background. If you know the storyline, he's basically undercover, like he's went evil. So that's why his costume's a little weird. But just huge half-panel splash of Nightwing. This is Phil Hester pencils, Andy Parks inks. Phil Hester signed it as well because he was sitting next to Andy. So super happy with that. But he also had another page that he had inked from issue 111 that actually had Nightwing in his classic costume, but it was penciled by Cliff Chang, so I had to get that as well. And it was unbelievably affordable and cheap. So a couple panels of him in his main costume before he's like out the window. But for the price of this page, like, I had to get it. So I now am a original page owner. So these are my first two ever pages of original art that I have gotten, or published pages, I should say, that I've gotten in my collection. So I didn't buy any books, but I definitely spent money. So that is, thanks, Chris, appreciate it. Yes. So I did not have to go track these books down in order to have the issues to go with my pages. So thank you again for that, Kachung. See, even the small, which is no such thing, but small AOKs can often lead to big things. So that is cool. So I've checked published page is one of my non-book goals for the year. I now have two of them, so I've checked that off the list. And then Daymare's obviously added ASM 43, checks off the list a little bit. So we are onward and upward. So we're at 45 minutes. I want to thank you guys for hanging out on a Monday. And we will catch you next time. Later, everybody. Where's my little go out? There it is. Bye.